Sanctions aren't working, there's no talks planned on the horizon, and the war rhetoric doesn't seem to stop Pyongyang either. And the world is deeply divided as to the way forward. United in its condemnation of the DPRK's latest missile launch, the international community, however, is sharply divided on what the response should be. Russia is openly questioning US motives after Washington's United Nations ambassador Nikki Haley talked of war and destroying the government of the DPRK.
One gets the impression that everything has been done on purpose to make Kim Jong-un snap and carry out further inadvisable actions. It is regrettable. The Americans should explain to us what they're after.
The US also wants Moscow and Beijing to consider an oil embargo against Pyongyang.
I think the Chinese are doing a lot. We do think they could do more with the oil, and we're really asking them to please restrain more of the oil, not cut it off completely. That was the most effective tool the last time the North Koreans came to the table, was cutting oil off.
China has condemned the latest missile launch and supports tougher UN sanctions, but it also wants a pathway to talks, not just more sanctions, which could raise tensions further.
China will fully, accurately, earnestly and faithfully implement the resolutions and fulfill its international obligations. We will continue to handle the relevant issues in a way that helps to realize the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, advance dialogue and negotiations, and safeguard regional peace and stability.
In the meantime, there is growing realization in Washington that the DPRK problem cannot be solved by Beijing alone. In the early part of the Trump administration, the US essentially said China could fix the problem. But in his latest tweet on the issue, President Trump acknowledged China's effort. The Chinese envoy, who just returned from North Korea, seems to have had no impact on Little Rocket Man. Hard to believe his people and the military put up with living in such horrible conditions. Russia and China condemn the launch. Yeah, and while all major powers are agreeing that the DPRK must stop testing and denuclearize, Pyongyang shows no signs of doing that. The DPRK appears close to what it says it needs for its security, a small but potentially effective nuclear arsenal that it believes could deter the United States and its allies in the region. For the moment, Mike, while there's so much disagreement, containment of the DPRK seems to be the only option.
Nathan, thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.